We're now in the second or third week in August, and I've shown this tree twice already this year. This was a Deshojo that came in the middle of June with all the leaves completely frazzled and burnt. So what I showed in the previous videos was how to revive a tree that has had the leaves burnt. These leaves have all emerged since I did the leaf cutting in the middle of June. So it is just 2 months, July and August. After 1 month, we got a whole crop of new leaves which were red. And as you know by now, all the shojos don't retain the color all year round. They turn green because the sun turns it into chlorophyll and makes it green. So this is the state of this tree. Massive leaves, completely recovered. And in fact, there are a bit too much. If I wanted to be pedantic and precise, I would take much more off. Because we've had such a hot summer this year, and also we've had to do a lot of watering, you will find that certain of the leaves do get mildew. So this tree has had slight mildew. And this is a typical example. It's not just limescale, but it is actually mildew. So if you do get mildew on the plants, it won't kill the plant, it just makes it unsightly. Just cut it off or leave it till the autumn, and next year it should be okay. But maples tend to suffer from mildew. Oak trees also suffer from mildew, so that's another problem. The customer doesn't know how well this tree has recovered because he's not on the internet, so I will have to contact him. But before returning it to him, since it's the third week in August, there is still a lot of growing to do. But what annoys me every time I pass the tree are these lower branches. I think I will have told you that he has just let the tree grow in a round bush. Nothing wrong with that, but if you look at the tree closely, there are a couple of branches which are quite incongruous. That means they don't fit with the style and character of the tree. And the two branches certainly are this one. It's much younger than this one and this one. And I think if they were removed, it would look quite nice. Let's see what would happen. I think I'm going to remove this branch. If you can look at the tree like this side, removing this branch, all this looks very mature. But this young branch is out of character, so that will go. Also this one, I don't think I need this branch. So I hope you will agree with me, but since this customer has given me a relatively free hand, and I think most of my customers do trust me, so I will remove it. So I will use the saw, makes it a bit easier. Put on my left-hand glove, and I will cut that branch off. This branch also I will remove. I don't think it needs it. Now I think this arrangement gives it much more character. It makes it look really old and mature. And if I were to be even more pedantic, I will remove this as well. Now I've lifted the crown of the tree. It's a sort of broom style, but now you can see the very mature trunk. And I think this is a much better style of the tree. Just turn it around. Few straggly leaves. So he will more or less have a new tree. I will just clean some of these cuts off. You see, I still believe in using the secateurs. I don't necessarily need to use bonsai tools. And I'm just going to seal this tree. There are many types of sealant. This is the lac balsam which I use. The Japanese sealant is also very good, but because this is liquid and it seals fast, same color as the trunk. And there you are. This is now a mature looking tree with really gnarled, mature looking branches. So I'm sure this customer will be quite happy that I've restored the tree and given it a new character. So this is what we have removed from the tree, that much. And I think the tree looks better for it. And next day he'll have a lovely red tree. The other thing which he brought in was the forest group. This is the other maple that the customer brought, and this was a forest group, and this too was completely burnt. We will show you the before picture, and this is the after picture after 2 months. A lot of new leaves have come, and still I keep seeing new shoots growing, but I won't leaf prune anymore. It's still recovering, but most of the leaves have come back, so this has done well. So this was a very good lesson in showing you how to resuscitate trees that have been scorched by the sun. You can even do this when leaves have been scorched by the frost. Sometimes in early April and even May, we tend to get frost in England. And when that happens, the best thing is to cut all the leaves off and you get a second crop of leaves. And many people think that leaf cutting produces a smaller crop of leaves. I always contend that it's not always the case, because sometimes the second crop of leaves can be larger than the first crop of leaves. But you will get a finer, clearer color of green or red. And the autumn color, I believe, is much better. So here we are, these two examples. While I'm talking about maples, I will show you that big tree that we did as an example of trees, bonsai from field-grown trees with that big trunk, and I used the pickaxe and crowbar. So we'll move across there and show you that tree.
Okay.
So this is the big beast that we worked on. I think it must have been March. I can't remember the exact month, but I took it out of a large flower pot and chopped the roots and took 60% of the roots off. Many people watching that video wouldn't think that this tree would survive, but look at it. This is all the growth from this year. I'll turn it around in a minute to show you the other side, but because this side is exposed to the sun, can you see the effect of the sun? It's turning these red already, but the leaves which are underneath are green. So this shows you what the sun can do. So the sun turns maples red. A tip that many people don't seem to realize, but I'll pass it on to you, is that maples grow better in full sun. Many people grow the maples in shade, but that is the wrong thing to do. If you grow it in shade, you won't get very good autumn color. I'm just turning the tree around so that you can see where I chopped it. So this is the very same tree. Look at that. I've done some wiring to open it out, and this is ready to put in a big bonsai pot next spring. And this is the side that did not have a lot of sunshine, so it is more green. I'll just cut a few of these leaves off. Again, I noticed that there is starting to be possibly a little bit of mildew, but I'm not worried about that. So here is this big maple ready to be made into a bonsai. And I would say that this tree is probably about 40 years old. That is the true age, because I've grown it for the last 30 or so years, and when we put it in the field it was only 1 inch thick. But now look at the trunk. Hope you've enjoyed seeing what we do with our maples, and thank you.